Hare Krishna. Welcome to the third day of our Purushottam Brat festival here in Newburgh. Padit Pavana Parmadayal Prema Data Padmavati Kumar Shri Nityanand Prabhu Ki Jai. Prema Purushottama Satinandan Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai, Varsani Wali Ki Jai, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Shri Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Bhajo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Go Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Shri Radha Shri Radha Shri Radha Shri Radha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Bole Mandav Melal ki jai Hasani wali ki jai Rishabhanu Raj Kumari Ju ki jai 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 Sri Radhe Shah Jai Gaur Sitanath Premanande Namashrishtam Manamapi Shachiputam Patraswarupam Rupam Tasya Gajam Puri Puri Maturim Goshtvatim Radha Kundam Kirivaram Ahoradika Madhuvasham Prabdo Yasya Pratita Kripaya Sri Guru Tammanatosmi Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Itadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Tadbhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya Hemabhadivyatchavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahapremarasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Bhaktya Behinha Apurhata Lakshay Charanaravinda Vrinde Namaste Charanara Govinda Damodara Madhaviti Govinda Damodara Madhaviti Govinda Damodara Madhaviti Govinda Damodara. Everyone. Hey Krishna. Govinda Damodara Madhaviti Sham Sundar Shikanda Shekhar Smaraha Smurali Manora Radhikara Sakha Mama Kripanidhe Supriyacharna Kinkurim Kuru Tavaivasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Jivikyaya Devitam Nayamam Charanantikam. First of all, I have my Sastang Dandavat Pushpanjali, my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times, at the lotus feet of my Holy Master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmati Paramaradhatama Guru Pada Padama Nityalila Pravisht Om Vishnupad Ashtotarasta Sri Rupa Anuga Charyavarya Sila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Bancha Kalpaturvasa Kripasa. Murli Vadak Prabhu ki jai. Yes. By the causes of Sri Guran Karanga, we are observing this most blessed occasion of Sri Purushottam Brata. Unlike other brats, like Akadasi, which comes every 2 weeks, or Kartik, or Janmastami Brat, Nashinga Chaturasi, that come once a year. This Purushottam Brata is rare. It only comes every 2 years, 8 months, 16 days, and 4 hours by astrological calculation. So Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they honor this Brat exactly as we honor Kartik Brat. In the Nardiya Purana, Padma Purana, and other places, this Purushottam Brat has been glorified. That Shri Krishna told the Adhik Mas There's one extra month that comes every 2 years, 8 months, and so. And during that time, there is no prescription for karma kanda, prescribed duties. So the brahmanas who follow the Smriti Shastra, they don't like this month because they have no employment during that month. So they call it Mal Mas, the bad month. Or Chora Mas, the thief month. So because this month was criticized, the presiding deity of this month went to Lord Narayan and begged for his mercy, and Lord Narayan took him to Golok Bihari, Sri Krishna. And Krishna said, just as I am known as Purushottam, the supreme Purush, so now I am giving you all of my qualities, and you, from now on, you will be known as Purushottam Mas. And those who will worship me during your month, then they will attain Krishna Prem. So Purushottam Mas was blessed. So once, during the time of my Gurudev's manifest pastimes, every Purushottam Mas, we would go to Purushottam Ketra Jagannath Puri Dham and spend the month there and perform the vrat there. So at the beginning of the month, Srila Gurudev asked me, stand up and speak and glorify Purushottam Mas. And I was quoting the articles of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Padma Purana, Skanda Purana, Naradiya Purana, and said, Sri Krishna has said that just as I am the source of all incarnations, Purushottam, I am supreme among all the incarnations. I am giving you my qualities. You will be called Purushottam Mas, and you will be supreme among all the months. You will be superior even to Kartik, even to Magh Mas. I'm quoting directly from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and from the Puranas. Sri Gurudev said, stop, don't say that. Why? Atula Mahasi Brinda Ragya Rajya Bishiktam Nikila Samaya Bhatu Kartikasyadi Devim. The Adhistatri Devata of the month of Kartik is Radhika. So you should not say that month whose Adhistatri Devata is Krishna can be superior to the month whose Adhistatri Devata is Radhika. So though I was quoting from Shastra, but Srila Gurudev, he could not tolerate to hear it. He said, just as Krishna will have to fall at the feet of Radhika and beg, Smaragarala Khandanam Mama Sirasi Mandanam Dei Padapalavam Udaram. O Radhika, I am burning in the poison fire of Cupid. Please save me by decorating my head with your lotus feet. So just as Krishna will have to surrender and acknowledge the glories of Radhika, so Purushottam Brat will have to acknowledge the glories of Kartik Brat. So Radhika Radas Jadi Hoy Abhiman Shigra Malai Tava Gokul Khan. Such Abhiman is there in Gurudev. Cannot tolerate that, to hear that Radhika is in a junior position to Sri Krishna. Never, never and never. Yeah. Because that is the nature of the dasis of Radhika. They have the Radhadika Sneha. Love for Radha and Krishna, but leaning more towards Radhika. More love for Radhika than for Krishna even. So during this month of Purushottam, Vaishnava take shelter of Purushottam Ketra Jagannath Puri Dham. And it's especially helpful during this month to be absorbed in remembering the pastimes of Sri Gaurahari in Jagannath Puri. Apini karimu bhakta bhava angikari apani achari bhakti shikamu sabari. Krishna said, I will appear in the mood of a devotee and I will show everyone how to practice bhakti by my own example. So we see when Sri Sachidanand Gohari was in Puri. How his life was so regulated. Dine Nritya Kirtan, Ishwara Darashan, Ratri Rai Swarup Sane, Rasa Ashwadan. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad describes that during the day, Mahaprabhu, he used to sing and dance in Kirtan. Dine Nritya Kirtan, Ishwara Darashan. And he would go regularly for the Arti Darshanas of Lord Jagannath Dev. So Dine Nritya Kirtana Ishwara Darashan, Ratri Rai Swarup Sani Rasa Aswadam. And at the night time, in a small room in the inner courtyard of the house of Kashi Mishra, the guru of the king, in the Gambhira, he would meet very privately with his intimate associate, Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Rai, and there, Rasa Aswadan, relishing the essence of Prema Rasa, relishing Krishna Prem from the perspective of Radhika. Krishna also relishes Prem. Krishna relishes being the object of Radhika's love. But Krishna in Gaur Lila is the same Krishna, relishing being the shelter of love for Krishna, that is being in the position of the Ashray Shrimati Radhika. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad said, Snana darashana bhojan, deha swabhav hoy, kumarera chakadena satata pirai. Mahaprabhu's life was very punctual, not so, let us say, chaotic, unexpected. He had his schedule, and all the devotees knew what he was doing at any time. Mahaprabhu himself, he said that he was so absorbed in the pastimes of Sri Krishna in Vrindavan that he was not really aware of his outer actions. So the example is given, Kumarera Chakayena Satata Virai. Just as a potter has a big stone wheel and he moves, he makes the wheel spin, and that takes effort. But once the stone wheel is spinning, then his two hands are free and he can make his craft, his pot from the clay, his art. So just as the wheel is spinning by itself and the potter is free to make his art, so in the same way, the day of Mahaprabhu was like the potter's wheel. He would wake up, he would chant, he would take bath in the ocean, he would go for darshan, he would come back, he would honor Mahaprasadam, again go for darshan, again go for bathing in the ocean, and so on. And in this way, snana darashana bhojan, bathing, going for darshan of Lord Jagannath, eating, deha swabhav hoy. This was just the swabhav, the nature of his body. But Kumarera Chakadena Satatavirai, inside, his consciousness was completely detached from everything. And he was in the Leela-vesh, absorption in Sri Krishna's pastimes. Without distraction. If anyone tried to distract him, oh, Mahaprabhu, there's an emergency. Ramananda Rai's brother, Gopinath Patnaik, has been arrested by the prince, and the prince is going to execute him. Mahaprabhu said, why? Because he insulted the prince. Well, that's what happens. If you insult the royal family, you get executed. Now don't bother me. If anyone comes to bother me with any worldly news again, I'm leaving Puri. I'll go to Alanath, Brahmagiri. That is Mahaprabhu's Dutiya Sannyas. His first sannyas, when he gave up all his associates of Navadvip Dham. And his Dutiya Sannyas, during the Anavasara, during the 15 days when there's no darshan of Lord Jagannath, after Snan Yatra, then Mahaprabhu used to go and leaving all of his associates also in Puri and stay in Brahmagiri at the lotus feet of Lord Alanath Dev. So he threatened, and all became afraid. They understand. My Gurudev used to say, the Sat Sishya, the authentic, bona fide disciple, who is situated in eternal relationship with Sadguru, with his eternal holy master, then he never brings the bad news to the ear of his Gurudev. Why? Because Sri Guru is absorbed in the Leela Vesh, in the pastimes of Sri Krishna. And mercifully, giving up the service of Radha Krishna, he comes into external consciousness to help us. And so the Sat Sishya, he serves Guru according to Manobhishta, the spiritual master's innermost heart's desire. It does not come with a big can of trash and pour it over Guru's head. All his problems, life problems and difficulties and mundane things. This is not the activity of the Sat Sishya, bona fide Guru, bona fide disciple. If such a disciple has a problem, then he'll pray to Gurudev and try to solve it. And when it's solved, come and give to Gurudev the good news. So we can take our own pulse and consider, am I Sat Sishya or not? So Mahaprabhu was absorbed. He did not tolerate any distractions. This is a great example for us. If we want to serve Radha and Krishna, we cannot be distracted. Just like Bharat Maharaj, he was chanting, remembering his mantra, and then he could feel something wet poking his arm, and it was the nose of the baby deer. So then he picked up the baby deer and put the baby deer in his lap, and then he was remembering his mantra. He had left everything. He was a king of the world. He left everything. But due to one attachment to a baby deer, then 3 lives went by. That life, then the next life was a baby deer, and then again in the next life, then he attained his perfection. So if 3 lives it will take in your sadhana for one attachment, then you can make a list of the attachments you have and do the math yourself. Jayato visha pungsa sangasteshu pajayate. By only thinking about the objects of the senses, one develops attachment for them, and material desires come. So there's no harmless distraction. All distraction is destruction. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us this by his pastimes in Jagannath Puri. Stana darashana bhojan daya swabhav hoy kumarera chakajena satata firai. How his life is going on. And he's doing everything just by habit, out of habit. And internally he's avesh, absorbed in the pastimes of Sri Krishna. So one thing to note is this, that the Leela of Gauranga Mahaprabhu in Navadvip Dham, his Nitya Leela there is Swarasiki Leela, Astakaliya Leela. But Gauranga Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Puri Dham, they are Mantrupasana-mayi Leela. So they're extraordinarily powerful and extraordinarily helpful, because no one can go to the Swarasiki Leela to become absorbed in the remembrance of the Astakaliya Leela, eightfold daily pastimes of the Supreme Lord, without connecting first with the Mantrupasana-mayi Leela Peeth. That is the dimension of pastimes where one Leela with one group of associates in one bhav is going on forever. Connect there. And once one has entered into that, then It will. The scenery will change, everyone will get up and move, and the Mantrapastamaya Leela will turn into Swarasiki Leela. So this Gaura Leela in Puri is extremely helpful and supportive to our sadhana. Once I was with Srila Gurudev in the Philippines. So he was on one remote island, staying by the beach and writing. He was writing his commentary on Bhajan Rahasya. And I was also there translating in the next room. He was so absorbed. One day he said, "Oh, as I am commenting on this Bhajan Rahasya, then I am realizing how Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as Kamala Manjari, is relishing all of these sweet verses." In the morning, Gurudev used to walk on the beach there. And when he came back from his morning walk, he told me, "Oh, in your heart you should stay with Raghunath Das Goswami." And the associates of Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar Roy Ramananda in Puri. This is favorable for bhajan. Then he said, "Do you know that there are different stages of sannyas? And there is Hamsa and Paramahamsa. What is the difference between a Hamsa and a Paramahamsa?" He said, a Hamsa is that Vaishnava. He's like a swan. And just as a swan can, from a mixture of milk and water, take only the milk and leave behind the water. So that Vaishnava, who can distinguish between the spiritual energy, the Swarup Shakti and Maya, they have a perfect discrimination and takes the shelter of the spiritual energy, always leaving behind Maya. He is called a Hamsa. Said Gurudev, and what is Paramahamsa? He said, for the Hamsa, he discriminates between milk and water. But for the Paramahamsa, there is only milk. So Mahaprabhu is like this in Puri. For him, there's only milk. Everywhere. Whether he's in his internal consciousness or even external consciousness. Even when he comes to external consciousness, then all the Uddipana of Jagannath Puri, all the beautiful gardens, the darshanas, the artis of Lord Jagannath, everything is favorable. Because his bhav is creating the Uddipana completely from the environment and nourishing, making the vibhavs and nourishing his staya bhav. Sisi Radha Raman Lala Juki Jai. So when Mahaprabhu is in Jagannath Puri, he relishes the pastimes of Sri Krishna in different ways. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Pad said, Radhikara bhava jaiche uddhava darshane se bhava mata prabhu rahe ratri dine. The meaning is that just as when Krishna was in Mathura and he sent Uddhav to Braj, Gach Uddhava Brajam Somya Pitruna Pritimavaha Gopinam Madvyogadim Matsandeshar Vimochaya. Go Uddhav, go to Braja. And by your tact, by your eloquence and diplomacy, speak in such a way to bring some solace to our parents. Because Nanda and Yashoda are not Uddhav's parents, but he's saying our parents, to awaken mamata, possessiveness. Without mamata, there's no love. And gopinam madviyogadim matsandesha vimotya. You should free the gopis from their great pain of separation by giving them these my sandesh messages. The implication here is, yes, use your tact, use your eloquence, use your diplomacy to pacify Nanda and Yashoda, but don't try that with Braj Gopis. Just repeat these messages. The dhwani, the suggestion, the implication is, you have no idea what you're about to witness. And anything that you say will just make everything worse. So just repeat these messages. So Uddhav went to Braja, and there, after spending the whole night discussing with Nanda and Yashoda, in the morning, he went and took bath in Krishna Kund and was sitting and remembering Gayatri Mantra. And then when he opened his eyes, he looked and saw from a forest of Kadamba trees, Kadamba Keri, light was emanating. The whole forest was illuminated. He thought, what is that? It's curious. Let me see. And got up. And he walked and entered into that forest. And nothing could prepare him for what he saw at that moment. Thousands of beautiful gopis, all disheveled hair, disheveled clothing, covered in dust, weeping, rolling on the ground. And among them, one was in the Jivan Sandhi, in the junction between life and death. And all the Sakis around her were weeping. Oh, Saki, don't leave us. Then Uddhav, he realized, oh, this must be Radhika. And from a distance, he bowed down. And just as he bowed down, he heard, Madhupakitava bandho masprashangram sapatnya kuchavilalita mahala kunkumasmasrubina bhatu madhupatistan manininam prasadam yadusadasi vidhambyam yastyatutastvamitrik. Hey, friend of a cheetah, don't touch my feet. Radhika was speaking to a bumblebee who was flying around her lotus feet. But the words she's saying to the bumblebee, in a parallel sense, they exactly apply to Uddhav. You friend of a cheetah. Because when you give pranam, the mood of giving pranam is to touch the feet of the person you're giving pranam to. So though he was giving pranam from far away, Kitava bandho, friend of a cheetah, don't touch my feet. And he became shocked. And he saw the madness of Srimati Radhika, how she was quarreling with a bumblebee in Divyonmad. He was astonished. So Radhikara Bhava Jaiche Uddhava Darshane, just as Radhika was in the madness of Mathura Viraha, separation from Krishna, when he went to Mathura. So say Bhava Mata Prabhu Rahiratri Dine, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri was in that madness of love, day and night, day and night. Viyogini Radha. Radhika in separation of Mathura Viraha. But then, when the time came around for the Rath Yatra, then Mahaprabhu came before Lord Jagannath. Ahuschate Nalina Nava Padharavinda. And he was crying and speaking in the mood of Radhika, meeting with Krishna at Kurukshetra at the time of the solar eclipse. So now Mahaprabhu is in this pastime, in Kurukshetra. And when Lord Jagannath arrived, he traveled from Nilachal, from the Sri Mandir, Jagannath Mandir, that is called Nilachal. And he traveled down the Grand Road and he arrived at Sundarachal, that is the Gundicha Mandir. When he arrived in the Gundicha Mandir, then Mahaprabhu's mood changed again. During that time, Lord Jagannath stays for 10 days there. So Mahaprabhu's mood is again quite different. Brindabane Oila Krishna Ei Prabhur Gyan Krishna Ramatu Virahaspurti Hoya Avasan. At the time when Lord Jagannath was there in Gundicha, then Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, he said, Brindavani Oila Krishna. Krishna has come to Vrindavan. Krishna is in Vrindavan. Ei Prabhur Gyan. This was Mahaprabhu's understanding. His particular awareness was of that nature. So Krishnara Birahaspurti Hoila Avasan. So even though before he was in the mood of separation and having the spurti, the sudden visions of Sri Krishna, just as Radhika would have sudden visions of Sri Krishna when Krishna was in Mathura, but she was in Vrindavan. Radhika would sit crying, making a garland, and then she would feel two hands over her eyes. Oh, who's there? Lalita, Vishaka, is it? And then Krishna would jump in front of her. It's me. Why did you leave me? And Krishna would take his pitamba, his golden cloth, and wipe away the tears of Radhika. I'll never leave you. What are you saying? I'll never leave you. And Radhika would extend her arms to embrace Krishna, and no one was there. And Radhika would faint. So just as Radhika, in separation, she would have spurtis of Krishna appearing. So Krishna was like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was like that in Puri. But when Lord Jagannath was staying in the Gundicha, now, Vrindavane Oila Krishna, Ei Prabhu Gyan, Mahaprabhu, Krishna is in Vrindavan. And so these spurtis in separation, they disappeared. And that is why during that time, you see, Mahaprabhu is in a very jolly mood, in a happy mood. And all the devotees, they celebrate together Hera Panchami. Hera Panchami. So on that day, the Lakshmi Vijay Utsava. Then Lakshmi Devi, she comes on a palanquin from the Sri Mandir with thousands of servants, with great opulence, carrying gold and jewels and so many chamaras. And she comes in an angry mood. And when she arrives outside the Gundicha Mandir, then her servants catch the servants of Lord Jagannath and bind them with flower garlands and hit them with sticks and criticize them. Gali, they give them. Gali, the criticism. And seeing this, Mahaprabhu is laughing. Hey, Swarup Damodar, I have never seen such anger as this. Tell me about it. Then Swarup Damodar said, yes, if a heroine detects that her beloved is neglecting her in any way, then she becomes angry. And this anger is of so many different types. This man is of so many different types. And Swarup Damodar began to discuss the loving anger of Radhika and the gopis of Vrindavan. He began to speak so many verses. All this bhav was infused into the heart of Rupa Goswami, and it manifests in the form of Dankeli comedy. How Radhika is on her way to take the ghee to the yajna of Bhaguri Rishi at Govinda Kund. But Krishna has come there and blocking her way. Oh, you will have to pay a tax. So really, it is an excuse. Her main intention of going that way to Govinda Kund is she's hoping that she'll be harassed by Krishna. But even though it was her desire that Shri Krishna should come here and harass me, but when Krishna jumps in front of her and tries to block her path, then she shows a contrary mood. Anta smerat ujjala jalakina bhyakina pakshmankura kinchit patalatanchita rasik utsikta Pura kunchati ruddhanam pati madavina maduram vyabhukta taro tara radhaya kila kinchita stabakini drishti sriyamba kriyat. May the glance of Radhika bestow upon you all beauty. Why? Because at that time, Krishna not even touching Radhika, only blocking, standing in her way. But so many contrary emotions all appear at the same time. Garva abhilasu rudita smita suya bayakudam sankarikaranam hashad uchate kilakinchitam. Just as, they're all covered. Just as in a bouquet of flowers, in a bouquet of flowers, there's not one type of flower, there are many different types of flowers. And that bouquet of many different types of flowers is more beautiful than any individual flower itself. And some of the flowers are more prominent and some are more receding into the background, but still playing their role. So in the same way, when Krishna tries to stop Radhika, then so many emotions, 7 emotions manifest all at once, like a bouquet of emotions, some being more prominent and some being more hidden. Garva, pride. Oh, pride, why? Oh, Krishna has come to harass me, not Chandravali. Abhilas, desire. Oh, this can be the opening introduction to the drama of our secret Nikunja Leela. So that desire is it. Abhilas, Rudita, Smita. Her mouth is smiling, but her eyes are crying at the same time. How crooked. Mo upachita vakramapi shuddho. Though her love is the most pure thing, it is beset with duplicity. Bhai, fear. She feels fear. We are here on the open road at Govardhan. What if someone sees us? Krodha. She's angry with Krishna. Asuya. She has hostility towards Krishna. And all of these emotions, they are all based on one thing. Just like if you make lemonade, then you need some lemon, some sugar, some black pepper. But the main thing is the water. So in the same way, the main emotion in which all these flowers of the other emotions are manifesting is harsh jubilation. Radhika is so happy that Krishna has come to harass me. Exactly what I wanted. All my desires are coming true now. So that time, Swarup Damodar Goswami, he said to Mahaprabhu, Anta smerat ujjvala jalakanab pakshmankura. Vyakena pakshmankura. It means that Anta smera, Radhika's smile was internal. In other words, she's so happy to see Krishna and she wants to smile, but she wants to show anger and hide that. So though her face is looking, her eyebrows are frowning, but Krishna can see bursting out. Her cheeks have become a little inflated because she's trying to hide a smile. So anta smerata, ujjvala, jalakanabyakina pakshmankura. And out of fear, she's closing her eyes. Pura kunchati. And as she closes her eyes, then the tears of ecstasy that were about to come from her eyes, they become squeezed by her eyelashes. And her eyelashes, which are so thick and black, as they squeeze the tears, then the tears peep out and appear like pearls. Radharaman Lala ki jai. The tears appear like pearls between her black eyelashes. Kinchit patal kanchita. And because she's angry, her eyes are somewhat pink, somewhat reddish. Madhura vyabhugnatharotara. And she's looking here and there at her sakis to show her pride and asuya, hostility towards Sri Krishna. So Radhaya Kilakinchita Stabakini. May this bouquet of emotions, which are all based on harsh jubilation, may Radhika's glance at that time bestow upon you all beauty. What does that mean? The Dhwani is, may you be one Manjari, one Dasi of Radhika, and be there at that time. And when Krishna stops there and she looks here and there, may she look at you. And that bouquet of emotions should overflow from her by Yavadashrai Vritti. And you will become vyapt, pervaded with her emotions. And at that time, teardrops will come from your eyes. Your hair will stand on end. And at that time, you look so beautiful, being decorated with sattvic bhavs. So Sriyam Bhakriyat. May the glance of Radhika at that time make you beautiful. How? Beautiful with the manifestation of ecstatic symptoms from the overflowing of Radhika's prema. A bhavayukta dekhe radhasya nayan sangamahite sukpai kotigun. So Damodar Goswami Pad said, oh, when Krishna sees Radhika's face light up with such a bouquet of emotions, he experiences 10 million times more happiness than her direct embrace. What can we say? It should be understood that as Swarup Damodar Goswami is speaking, Gauranga Mahaprabhu is experiencing that very bhav of Radhika through the Harikatha. So this is a world far, far removed from Radhikara Bhava Jaiche Uddhava Darshani. When Mahaprabhu is in the Gambhir crying like Radhika when Krishna's gone to Mathura. It's a world far, far removed from when Mahaprabhu is beholding Lord Jagannath and saying, Ya Kaumara Hara Saivai Varastai Vachaitra. Oh, now that hero who was my beloved in the days of my youth, who stole my youth, who stole my childhood, I'm again meeting with him. These are the same moonlit nights. The full moon is shining in the month of Chaitra. The same fragrance of Kadamba flowers, blossoming Kadamba trees and jasmine flowers is carried on the breeze. I am the same heroine and he is the same hero. But still, I am not satisfied here. My heart yearns to be on the bank of Jamuna, in the kunjas of Yamuna Pulin in Vrindavan, and hearing Krishna playing the fifth note upon his flute. Mahaprabhu was uttering this verse as Radhika meeting with Krishna at Kurukshetra. But now, during the 10 days when Jagannath is in Gundicha, Mahaprabhu is laughing and experiencing the joys of the teasing of Krishna and the contrariness of Radhika in the Vrindavan Leela. So, Puri Leela is not like the Astakali Leela of Mahaprabhu in Nitya Navadvip Dham. Jagannath Puri Leela is a Mantrapasnamai Leela Pits. And each pastime of Mahaprabhu invites us to realize that pastime, that Leela. Just as Radhika is relishing the Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, the beauty, the fragrance, the sound, the touch and the taste of Sri Krishna in Vrindavan Leela. But her anurag is so deep that she cannot relish them all at once. She can only experience them one at a time. So throughout the Antya-Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita in Puri, you can see in one pastime, Mahaprabhu sees Krishna and he disappears and Mahaprabhu faints. And when he comes to sense, then Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami said he becomes like a bumblebee. And he's running about the Jagannath Bala Bhattika because he can just experience the fragrance of Krishna everywhere. He can't see Krishna. He can't hear Krishna. But he can just experience the fragrance of Krishna everywhere. And Mahaprabhu is like a bumblebee. Zzz, and taking the fragrance of Madan Mohan. Mahaprabhu in his ecstasy is saying, Madan Mohan, he has opened a perfume store and calling, oh ladies, please come. I'll give you a free sample. Sniff this. And if anyone will take one free sample of the fragrance of Krishna, then they become blind and they cannot find their way home. And they cannot leave the conscious of Vrindavan. They become mad. So in one Mantupasnamaya Lila, Gauranga Mahaprabhu is experiencing Radhika only experiencing Krishna's fragrance. In another Lila, only the sound of Krishna's flute. In another Lila, only the taste of Krishna's lips. That's when Mahaprabhu, he receives Jagannath Mahaprasad and taste. So this is Adaramrita. So these are the Mantupasnamaya Leelas of Gauranga Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. They are so helpful, supportive, inspirational. They light the fire of greed in the heart of the Raganuga sadhakas and invite us to follow him. Only those who are doing bhajan in the shelter of Mahaprabhu, accepting Mahaprabhu as a bhajan shiksha guru, then they can experience the Purna Rasamrita, Aswadana, Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purna Amrita Aswadanam. Why? Because E Prema Dwari Nitya Radhika Ekale Amarama Duryamrita Ashwadesha Kale. See, Krishna said, only Radhika by the strength of her prem can taste my Madhurya Amrita, the sweetness of my form, of my flute, of my pastimes and associates. Only Radhika tastes that fully. Amara Madhuryamrita Ashwade Sakali. No one else has the power to relish that fully. But if someone will take shelter of Gauranga Mahaprabhu as his bhajan shiksha guru, don't try to approach Radha and Krishna directly. Take shelter of Gauranga Mahaprabhu and give pranam to his lila first. Then, just as Mahaprabhu is relishing the sweetness of Krishna fully in Radha Bhav, by following him, then one will attain the Radha Dasyam and Radhika's Bhav will overflow into us. And though that sweetness of Krishna is only tasted on the strength of Madanakya Mahabhav, which is in no one, not Chandravali, not even Lalit and Vishaka. But by being the Dasi of Radhika, her Bhav will overflow and we become vyapt, pervaded by that, and experience Krishna in a way that no one can experience him except for Radhika and her maidservants. Therefore, anarpita chirim chirat kurunayava kirnaha kalo samarpaitam unnat ujvalasam swabhakti sriyam. Mahaprabhu has come to give what was never given before in this day of Lord Brahma. The beauty of Radhika's bhav, not Radhika's bhav, but the beauty of that bhav, the sri of that bhav. So, Srila Rupa Goswami said, Sadhu Basya Srimandritamuna Jakaya Pranayatam Bahad Bir Girana Girisha Paramesti Prabhatibi Subhakti Shuddham Nija Bhajana Mudram Upadishan Sachaitanya Kimme Punarapetisho Yasyati Padam. Oh, when will that Gauranga Mahaprabhu again walk onto the pathway of my eyes? All the great demigods descended into this world and took human form just to worship him. Brahma took birth as a Muslim just to worship him. Brihaspati became a Mayavadi, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya just to worship him. Lord Shiva became poor Brahmin, Advaita Acharya. just to worship him. But swabhakti shuddham nija bhajana upadishan. Those who are his near and dear intimate devotees like Rupa Goswami, then he is the bhajan shiksha guru for them. That is our relationship with Gauranga Mahaprabhu in Raga Marg. And so his bhajan lila, pastimes of bhajan, they are to illuminate the path for all Raga, Rupanuga sadhakas. One day, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he approached Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he said, "My Lord, I have a request to make of you. Please don't become angry with me." Mahaprabhu said, "You should not be afraid. You can ask whatever you want, and if it's not suitable, then I'll just not accept it." Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, "The king of Orissa, Gajapati Prataparudra Maharaj, he wants to have an audience with you." Mahaprabhu said, "It is out of the question. Niskinchanasya bhagavad bhajanonmakasya param param jigamasho bhavasagarasya sandarshayam vishainim atayoshitamba ahanta hanta bishbhakshnayatopya sadhu." Mahaprabhu said that for one who desires to cross over the ocean of material existence, for one who has retired from all worldly activities and become niskinchan, without possession, the only possession, they aspire to only possess the lotus feet of Krishna. He is mine. For such persons, to see a materialist, Vishayi, or to see the face of a beautiful woman, then ahanta hanta bishbhakshna topya sadhu. Alas, alas, this is worse than knowingly drinking poison, deadly poison. So Mahaprabhu was uncompromising in this. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, "But my Lord, he is a king, but he's a great devotee. He's very humble, he's a great devotee." Mahaprabhu said, "Still, I'm in the renounced order and I should consider that he's like a venomous snake." Just as if you see a venomous snake or even an image of a venomous snake, you feel some fear. So in the same way, a person who is entangled in power and money, those who want to do bhajan should keep a distance from those persons. Because the prabhav, the influence of Maya, will draw one out of the life of bhajan. Mahaprabhu said, "Oh, I am afraid even to look at the wooden doll of a woman. Or to speak of a woman, even a wooden doll, I become afraid. So, I will not do it. Don't bring this up again. If you bring this up again, then I'll leave. I'll leave Puri." He didn't mention Alanath at exactly that time, but that was his implication. I'll leave. I'll leave. You will not see me here again in Jagannath Puri if you raise this again. After some time, Ramananda Rai arrived in Puri. So Ramananda Rai was a governor in the government of Prataparudra Maharaj. Prataparudra Maharaj is so young at this time, actually. He's in his early 20s. And he's already famous as a powerful king, fighting in so many battles, expanding the empire of Orissa. His father was also very famous devotee, Purushottam Dev. When his father used to go into battle, Jagannath and Baladev, they used to show up and fight on his side also. He used to come from Puri riding on horses and fight on his side. So once he was in a battle with the king of Vijayanagar, the Vijayanagar emperor who was ruling in Kanchi, because there was some negotiation that his daughter should marry Purushottam Dev. So he sent some ambassadors to Jagannath Puri, and they arrived in Puri on the day of the Rath Yatra. And those ambassadors, they saw that Purushottam Dev had a broom and he was sweeping in front of Lord Jagannath. It's part of the ceremony on the Rath Yatra day. And so those ambassadors, they went back to the king and they said, we went to Puri and we saw your daughter's so-called future husband and he was sweeping. Well, that's it. The wedding is off. I will not marry my daughter to a sweeper. Because he didn't have faith in Lord Jagannath. He was a devotee of Ganesh. So when the news came to Purushottam Dev, the wedding has been cancelled. The king said, you are a sweeper, and he doesn't want his daughter to marry a sweeper. Because that is for the bungis. They're for the lowest outcast people in society. That's their job, sweeping. So then, Purushottam Dev, he took that as an insult to Lord Jagannath. How is sweeping for Lord Jagannath the same as being an ordinary sweeper? This is not the same. So he took it as an insult of Lord Jagannath. And he called his army and he set off and had a big battle with that king, whose name was the Narasingha Maharaj. Maharaj Narasingha of Kanchi. And in the battle, he was defeated and he came back and he cried to Lord Jagannath, oh my Lord, I tried to uphold your dignity, but alas, I was defeated. Lord Jagannath said, don't be afraid. Again, make another battle. I'll come with you. I'll support you. So the king set off again, and as he was on the road there, one lady, a milkmaid who sells milk products, her name was Manika. Manika said, excuse me, your majesty, 2 soldiers. One was very dark, riding a light horse, and one was very light, riding a dark horse. 2 of your soldiers came here. They said they were very thirsty, and they asked me for some charge, buttermilk. So I gave them buttermilk, but they told me, oh, we have no money. And they gave me a ring and said, when the king comes, give him this ring back and he'll give you some money. And then that lady gave the ring to Purushottam Dev. And he looked at the ring and he saw it was a ring that he'd offered to Lord Jagannath himself. And then he knew, it's true. Krishna and Balaram have already gone ahead to help in this battle. And then with renewed enthusiasm, that this time I must be victorious, he rode, and from the other side, then the other king, Maharaj Narasingha of Kanchi, he was also confident because I have already beat him once, and 2, Ganesh is on my side. So Ganesh was there also, riding on his mouse. And there was a big battle, and by the mercy of Jagannath Dev, then Purushottam Dev Maharaj, he was victorious, and he defeated the king, and he took the deity of Sakshi Gopal from the palace of the king of Kanchi, the deity of Sakshi Gopal, very famous, and brought him back to his palace in Cuttack. The capital of the Orissa Empire was Cuttack at that time. And he also took Ganesh also. The Ganesh is in Puri, he's Banda Ganesh. And he took a very beautiful Mayo Arsana, peacock asana. And he also kidnapped the princess. And he made a vow, I will marry this princess to the best sweeper I can find in Puri. And he took her and brought her, and she was under house arrest there in Puri, waiting for the day when the king will decide which sweeper she will get married to. So then The king, he felt very sorry for the princess because she's innocent. It was not her fault that her father was behaving in this way. And she was so beautiful and he fell in love with her, but he didn't say anything. And then when the day of Rath Yatra came, then the minister came from Kanchi and asked her, oh, which sweeper do you want to marry? And when the king was sweeping, she said, that one there. And so they were married. Her name was Padmavati. And they had a son, and the son was this Prataparudra Maharaj. And this Prataparudra Maharaj, he is in the Gajapati dynasty. He was a great devotee. Even he was a great scholar. He wrote so many books in Sanskrit and poems. And he's actually the incarnation of Indrajumna Maharaj. From Satyuga, that very person for whom Lord Jagannath appeared, he appeared from the ocean at Banki Mohan for 3 persons. Vidyapati, Vishwavasu, and Indrajumna Maharaj. Indra means Indra, and Jumna means the wealth, opulence, prosperity, effulgence. He has the wealth and opulence and effulgence of Indrajumna. But more than that, Lord, by his love, Lord Jagannath appeared for him. So that very Indrajumna Maharaj from Satyug has now appeared in Gaura Leela as the son of Purushottam Dev, Gajapati, Prataparudra Maharaj. So that king, he wanted to meet with Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu, he did not accept. Now, Ramananda Rai was a governor in the government and he was ruling in Rajamahendri in the south. And after Mahaprabhu had met with him during the tour of South India, Mahaprabhu told him, now I'll do this tour and after some time I'll return to Puri and you should give up your government service here and please come and give me your association. Because after their samvad, when Mahaprabhu was leaving, Ramananda Rai said, oh my Lord, please stay some days with me so we can discuss Harikatha. Stay some days. Mahaprabhu said, no. Why should I stay with you for some days? I want to stay with you for my whole life. Leave your post in the government and come to Puri. And every day for our whole lives, we should engage in the sweet rasakatha of the glories of Radha and Krishna. So due to the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ramananda Rai had left his government position and just now he was arriving in Puri. And he had traveled there with the king. So when Ramananda Rai, he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu asked, how are you? What happened? Ramananda Rai said, when I went to the king and I asked his permission, Your Majesty, I want to retire from government service. Please give me permission because I want to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When the king heard your name, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, tears came in his eyes and he became ecstatic. And at once he embraced me. He said, of course, you should go at once and serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I will, for your pension, I'll give you your full salary for life as your pension. And Ramananda Rai glorified Prataparudra Maharaj. What a great devotee. Mahaprabhu said, oh, it is certain that Krishna will give his mercy to Prataparudra Maharaj. It's certain. Why? Because of his love for you, Ramananda Rai. Ye me bhakta janapata, na me bhakta sate jana. Mahaprabhu quoted this verse. Krishna has said, now Krishna is saying it in the form of Mahaprabhu. Krishna said, if someone claims, oh Krishna, I am your devotee, then I don't accept him. He's not my devotee. But if someone says, oh Krishna, I am the devotee of your devotee, then Krishna, I accept that person. So Mahaprabhu said, Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param tasmat pratamam devi tadiyanam samachanam. Out of all types of worship, the worship of Vishnu Tattva, Bhagavan is the best. However, even superior to the service of Bhagavan, tadiyanam samarchanam, is serving his tadiyavastu, those who are near and dear to him. So his tadiyavastu, Jamuna, Govardhan, Brinda Devi, and especially his devotees are his tadiyavastu. Mahaprabhu said, Durapa alpatapasa, seva vaikunta vatmasu, yatropagiyate nityam deva deva janardana. Quoting this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahaprabhu said, those whose austerities, those whose history of tolerating difficulties is meager, it is very hard for them to have the association of those great Vaishnavas who are traversing the path to the spiritual world. Yes, I know. So this is an important point that Mahaprabhu is saying. First and foremost, the active ingredient in our spiritual life is sadhu sangha. Krishna bhakti janmamul hoy sadhu sangha. Prema bhakti janme teho punar mukhya anga. Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, the root cause of the appearance of bhakti is sadhu sangha. And even when we come to the stage of prem, still sadhu sangha is the active ingredient to go further. Prem, sneha, man, pranaya, and all the other stages beyond that. So sadhu sangha is eternal. And here Mahaprabhu is quoting the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam saying, however, that sadhu sangha is rare because persons cannot tolerate the difficulties, the inconveniences that come along with sadhu sangha. To have the association of great advanced devotees, one has to pay a high price and must be ready to undergo great difficulties. Bahuvuya vihanga bhikshucharyam charanti. Radharani said, oh, if you hear one drop of Harikatha, you become like a bird, homeless, flying here and there with no fixed residence. Like a beggar. Who is ready to make such a sacrifice in their life? Very rare. And because that is very rare, sadhu sangha is also very rare. So durapa alpa tapasa, those whose austerities are meager, they can hardly get the chance to have deeply association again and again with those who are traversing the path to the divine realm. So then, Prataparudra Maharaj, he wrote a letter. And in the letter, he said to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, what is the use of my kingdom if I cannot serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? If I cannot have his association, what's the use of being a king? I'll give up the throne. I'll wear an ivory earring, like a Kapalik yogi. I'll leave everything and become a beggar just to have the chance to meet him. How is it possible that Gauranga Mahaprabhu came to this world to deliver everyone, to deliver all the fallen persons? He delivered Jagai and Madai. He has come to deliver everyone except for one wretched person named Prataparudra. And he was crying, thinking, I am the most unfortunate person in this whole world. So Nityananda Prabhu came to Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Note, just see the eagerness of Prataparudra Maharaj. He's ready at the drop of a hat to sacrifice everything to have the association of Mahaprabhu. Nityananda Prabhu came to Mahaprabhu and told him about this. Told him that The king is a great devotee. Mahaprabhu still refused. He said, I cannot because Damodar Pandit will criticize me. Damodar Pandit is famous, very famous, as always watching Mahaprabhu. And if he'll do anything which could even at a distance be interpreted as something inappropriate for a sannyasi, then he would raise that issue. Just as Mahaprabhu, he had a very nice relationship with a little boy who used to come and visit him every day. And Damodar Pandit said, what are you doing? Don't you know this boy's mother is a very beautiful widow? And if people see that you have a very affectionate relationship with this boy, then they'll start gossiping and thinking that you must have a relation with his mother. Like this. Damodar Pandit was very strict in this way. So Mahaprabhu said, I cannot meet with the king. It's not possible. Damodar Pandit will criticize me. Damodar Pandit said, oh my lord. Yadyapi Ishwara tumi parama swatantra tadapi svabhavah prema paratantra. Oh my lord, you are Ishwara. You are swatantra, completely independent. Who can stop you from doing whatever you like? But I know at the same time, you are prema paratantra. On the one hand, you are swatantra, independent. But on the other hand, you are prema paratantra. You are controlled by love. So I know that one day you will accept Pratapuruta Maharaj. Why? Because Pratapuruta Maharaj not only has love, but he has love for Mahaprabhu's Ramananda Rai, his close associate. Mahaprabhu's pastimes are so instructive. Also, when I came to my Gurudev, I never tried to serve him. I tried to serve those who are closest to him. Then, Vaishnavera Abhidana Krishna Doyamai, He no Pamara Prati Habina Sadoy. If a Vaishnava will pray on our behalf as an intermediate, then Supreme Lord will give mercy. And so great Vaishnavas are also like that. Mahaprabhu is also like that. By serving his intimate associate, then Mahaprabhu's heart was melting. So Nityananda knew that Mahaprabhu is not ready to accept him yet. So he said, oh Mahaprabhu, please just give me one of your used cloths, your uttariya. So then Mahaprabhu agreed. And Govinda, Mahaprabhu's personal servant, took the uttariya, the cloth of Mahaprabhu, and gave it to Nityananda Prabhu, and he sent it to the king. So then, when the king received the cloth of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, then he touched it to his head. He gave pranams. He placed it on an altar, and he was offering arti to the cloth of Mahaprabhu. Why? Because Mahaprabhu, his name, form, qualities, pastimes, his paraphernalia, his cloth is all non-different from him. And those who are pure devotees, they can realize this. Rupa Goswami in Ujjvala Nilamani, there he said, Lokotara Padatanam, Prabhava Kopyanagala, Ratim Tad Vishayam, Chaso Basate Turnam Ekada. The meaning is, if there is a Lokotara Padartha, a substance which is beyond this world, any transcendental substance, such as Mahaprasadam, Charnamrita, the remnant garland of Krishna, any transcendental substance, it has Prabhava Kopyanagala, a prabhava, a power, an influence, which is Anargala. If you keep your cows in the Goshala, then you can close the barn door with a big piece of wood. Put it in the slots and it closes the barn door. So this big piece of wood that blocks the door is called Argala. So anargala means it's not there. So the door can be open, and then the cows, they can wander very far, far. They can wander all the way to Vrindavan, all the way to the bank of Radha Kund. So in the same way, the transcendental substances, they have a power. It is anargala. It's unbolted. Nothing can stop it. And it is unlimited. It can go all the way to Vrindavan. And the specific power of the transcendental substance is Ratim Tadvishayim Chaso. It does two things. Basate, it causes illumination. Turnam, immediately. Ekada, and at the same time, simultaneously, two effects. It causes Rati, the bursting into the heart of love, and Vishai, the object of Rati, that is Krishna. So the love and the love of Krishna burst into the heart together, immediately, simultaneously. That is the power of the Lokottara Padartha, the divine substances. And so pure devotees, when they smell the flowers offered to Sri Krishna, when they taste the Charanamrita of Radha and Krishna, then it causes the spurtis, the visions of their beautiful sweet pastimes. So Prataparudra Maharaj, now he received the cloth of Mahaprabhu, he felt as if, oh, it's Mahaprabhu himself, and he was worshipping that cloth. After some time, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya again came to Mahaprabhu to put forward the case of the king. Mahaprabhu said, send his son. Because he said, Atmavai Jayate Putra. A person is born again in the form of their son. So though I cannot meet the king, but he has a little boy, you can send his son. So then Prataparudra Maharaj was overjoyed. Prataparudra Maharaj decorated his son with a garland of flowers, with pagri, with a peacock feather, with a flute, with pitambar, with yellow cloth and dhoti. He decorated him, just like Krishna, and sent him. So Mahaprabhu was there in Kashi Mishra Bhavan chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Yes, very good. And if Radhika seeing a tamal tree will have the vision of Krishna, then what will happen to Mahaprabhu seeing this boy? And when Mahaprabhu saw the boy approaching, he was overwhelmed with love, and he stood up and he embraced that boy. And by the embrace of Mahaprabhu, the boy himself received Krishna Prem. Haribol! Boy was crying. His hairs were standing on end. His body was trembling. And after some time, that boy, he went home, back to the palace. The king of Puri also has a palace on the main road, just quite close to the Jagannath temple on the other side. So he went back to his papa, and when his father saw him, then he ran and he embraced his father. And when the boy embraced Prataparudra Maharaj began to tremble. His hairs were standing on end and tears were falling from his eyes. This is called the Guru Parampara. How the divine love is passed personally from person to person. Akshnopalam twadrisha darshanam hi tanopalam twadrisha gatra sangaha jivafalam twadrisha kirtanam hi sudurlabha bhagavata niloke. Mahaprabhu himself used to quote this verse. The perfection of eyes is to see the pure devotee. O Vaishnav Thakur, the perfection of my eyes is to see you. The perfection of my body is to touch your lotus feet or receive your embrace. The perfection of my tongue is to speak your glories. Why? Sudurlabha Bhagavata Hiloke. Because in this world, such great Mahabhagavat Vaishnavas, they're extremely Sudurlabh, extremely rare. But by that association, there is the transference, the transmission of Swarup Shakti, Dadati Pratigrinati Guyamakiti Prichati, Bhungte Bojayate Chaiva Sadvita Pritilakshanam, by 6 loving exchanges with pure devotees. Why is Rupa Goswami even mentioning this in Upadesha Amrita? Why? Just do bhajan. Why is he talking about 6 exchanges of loves between devotees? Because we cannot do bhajan without the support of Hladini Shakti. Without being nourished by Hladini Shakti, then our chanting will be empty. Realization will not come. So where will this Hladini Shakti come from? Dadati pratigrinati guyamakati prachati. Giving and receiving gifts, opening the heart and receiving some confidential instruction. Giving Mahaprasadam and taking the remnants. By this, the Hladini Shakti comes and nourishes us and supports us. And then one can chant Shuddha Nam. Asadu Sangha by Krishna Nama Nahi Hai, Nama Kshara Bahirai Bote, Tabu Nama Kabu Nai. Without Sadhu Sangha, then just the syllables of the name, this is not actually the Divya Aprakrita Vishuddha Sattva Nam, Prema Nam. So Pratapuruja Maharaj, now the mercy of Gauranga Mahaprabhu came first through his cloth and now through the embrace of his own son. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he told Pratapuruja Maharaj, when the day of Rath Yatra comes, then there will be an opportunity for you. As the Rath cart is traveling down the Grand Road about halfway between Sri Mandir and Gundicha, there's a place called Balagandi. And there Lord Jagannath stops and all the devotees, they offer bhog to from wherever they are. There's crowds, millions of people, and they all hold up their coconuts and say, Jai Jagannath. And Lord Jagannath, with his big lotus eyes, he accepts all the offerings of everyone there at the Balagandi. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, at that time, Mahaprabhu, he will be in such great ecstasy from dancing in the kirtan, and he will take some rest in a garden nearby. At that time when he's resting in half internal and external consciousness, in ecstasy, you should give up your kingly dress and in very simple white cloth, you can go there and you should massage his feet and sing Gopi Geet. And he'll be in such a mood. He will appreciate it so much. So then, when that day came of the Rath Yatra, Mahaprabhu made his devotees into 7 Sankirtan parties. 4 parties were in front, 1 party was each side, and 1 party was behind Lord Jagannath. And the king, Pratapuruja Maharaj, he went up onto the roof of his palace with Gopinathacharya and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Kashi Mishra, with his guru Kashi Mishra and Shiksha Guru Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And he was on the roof of the palace and everyone was watching. And they saw that Mahaprabhu was dancing in the group in front of Lord Jagannath. But then at that time, Pratapuruja Maharaj said to his Gurudev, "Oh Gurudev, Mahaprabhu is dancing in all 7 Sankirtan parties at once." But even his Guru could not see. He said, "Oh, really, Mahaprabhu has bestowed his mercy upon, already he has bestowed mercy upon you." So this is an incredible moment in Gaura Leela. Why? Leela Veshi Prabhu nahi nij anusandan, Icha jani Leela Shakti kari samadhan. This moment gives us a fascinating insight into the nature of Gaura Leela. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad is saying, Leela Veshi Prabhu Nahi Nijanu Sandan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is absorbed in the mood of Radhika, meeting with Krishna at Kurukshetra after long separation. So he's in such a great ecstatic mood. He's dancing, jumping in the air, spinning around helplessly. He's not dancing. The love is making him dance. He's being tossed in the waves in the ocean of prema. And to the ordinary person, he looks like dancing. So at that time, Mahaprabhu is absorbed. He does not know, where am I? He thinks I'm in Kurukshetra. He's not thinking, oh, the king's up there on the roof. I'm going to dance now in all the 7 parties at once. He's not thinking like that at all. In fact, nahi nijanu sandan. Because he's absorbed in the Leela, he's not investigating himself. Mahaprabhu does not even know that he's in the other kirtan groups. So in each of the 7 groups, Gauranga Mahaprabhu is there, but each form of Mahaprabhu thinks I am Radhika at Kurukshetra and doesn't know he's even dancing in the other groups. At the same time, every devotee in each group thinks we're so lucky Mahaprabhu is only dancing in our group. He's not, they can look, he's in our group. He's not in the other groups. That's what they're seeing. Kashi Mishra is seeing Mahaprabhu is in one group. And at the same time, Prataparudra Maharaj is seeing Mahaprabhu is in all the groups. Who's managing this? I want to speak to the manager. Mahaprabhu is not in charge. Mahaprabhu just thinks I'm Radhika at Kurukshetra. Who is managing this? That he's in one group, but he's in so many groups and he doesn't know. And some people can see he's only in our group, but not in the others. And then this one person sees he's in all groups. So each Jani Leela Shakti Kari Samadhan. Because Mahaprabhu is engaged in his Leela, absorbed in that. So, but his Leela Shakti, each Jani, knows Mahaprabhu's desire and therefore orchestrates everything individually for each and every person who is there. He's having their own subjective experience orchestrated by the Leela Shakti, which is the reciprocation with their particular bhav. Yayatamam prapadyante tangstataiva bhajamyam. So because Mahaprabhu cannot meet, he can meet with everyone else, but he cannot meet with Prataparudra Maharaj. He's the only one. But he wants to, but he cannot. So the Leela Shakti is managing this and giving Prataparudra Maharaj the Vishesh Kripa, a special mercy that others did not have. Prataparudra Maharaj came down. He came down from the palace and he came through the crowd with his general, Harichandan, very big, powerful soldier, and so many other soldiers. And when Mahaprabhu was dancing, Srivas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu were the first line of defense, a circle around Mahaprabhu to make room for him to dance and hold back the crowd. Then the Kashashwara Pandit and others, they were in the second line of defense. And then in the third line, the troops of Prataparudra Maharaj were holding back the crowds in the third line. So Prataparudra Maharaj was there and he was watching. He was completely hypnotized, enchanted by the dancing of Mahaprabhu. And when Mahaprabhu was dancing, he would sometimes be about to fall, but Nityananda would run and spread his arms and catch him. But a strange thing happened. Mahaprabhu was jumping and dancing, and he went straight through the first line, straight through the second line, and fell in the dust right at the feet of Prataparudra Maharaj. Prataparudra Maharaj saw Mahaprabhu, and very lovingly, he picked him up and began to wipe the dust from his body. And just then, Gauranga Mahaprabhu opened his beautiful lotus eyes and said, Chi Chi, Vishayera Spasha, Hoila Ama, Chi Chi. That means, Dicker, find me. Alas, alas, I've touched a materialist. And he was angry and he got up and quickly ran away and went back into the middle of the groups and continued to dance there. And the king was so dismayed. He was brokenhearted. The one time in my life I had this chance to touch Gauranga Mahaprabhu and his chi. Dikkar, fie on me, alas, alas, fie on me. I've been touched by a materialist. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, don't worry. It's only for show. It's only for show. You think it's an accident that the Supreme Lord of the universe landed right there? You think that Nityananda Prabhu is Anantadev? He's holding up unlimited universes on his head. Could not stop him in the first line of defense? No, it was only by the Leela Shakti. Mahaprabhu has not done it. Leela Shakti has done it. But Leela Shakti knows the desire of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Rupa Goswami Padi, in Chaitanyastikam, he said, Swarupam Bibrano Jagad Atulam Advaita Daita Prapanna Srivaso Janita Paramananda Garima Hare Dino Dari Gajapati Kripotseka Tarala Sachaitanya Kimme Punar Apridishur Yasyati Padam. When will I see that Gauranga Mahaprabhu again? Swarupam Bibrano, his Swarup is effulgent. Jagad Atula, he is incomparable in this universe. Advaita Daita, he is the one, non-dual, beloved of all living entities. Prapanna Shiva, so he's the shelter of the goddess of fortune, Sri. Janita Parimananda Garima. And he is the great cause of the highest weighty Ananda bliss. Hare Dino Dari Gajapati Kripotse Katarala. And he is the Hari, like a lion. And just as a lion, he's eager to tear apart an elephant. So he's also eager to Dina Udari, to deliver the fallen living entities. Sachaitanya kimme punarapati shoya shripadam. This is the general meaning of the verse. In this verse, all the names of so many associates of Gauranga Mahaprabhu have been hidden. So Swarupam Bibrano, his Swarup is effulgent. No, he is decorated always by the presence of Swarup Damodara Goswami. Jagad Atula, he's incomparable in the universe. No, he has an incomparable devotee, Jagadananda Pandit. Advaita Dayita, he's the one beloved of all living. No, he's dearly beloved of Advaita Acharya. Prapanna Srivasa, he's the shelter of the goddess of fortune, Sri. No, Prapanna Srivasa, Srivas Thakur is completely in his shelter. Janita Paramananda Garima, he's the cause of the great weighty supreme bliss. No, Garima, he shows great respect to Paramananda Puri, who is the godbrother of his own guru. So he shows respect to Paramananda Puri. Hare Dino Dari, he is Hari. He's like a lion. And just as a lion is the trembling with anticipation to tear apart the elephant. When a lion fights with an elephant, then his courage is amplified to the highest point. He's so invigorated by the challenge. So the lion is trembling with anticipation to tear apart the elephant. So here elephant is Gajapati, king of elephants. But Gajapati is the name of Prataparudra Maharaj. So in the same way, that Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he is like a lion who is trembling with anticipation for the chance to sprinkle mercy on Prataparudra Maharaj. It's Virodhabhas Alankar because a lion wants to kill the elephant. But he's trembling with anticipation to shower his mercy on Gajapati, Prataparudra Maharaj. So this is the situation. Mahaprabhu, in his heart, he's trembling with anticipation to give mercy to Prataparudra Maharaj. But the circumstances will not allow it. So Yoga Maya in different ways is managing to sprinkles of mercy, showers of mercy on Prataparudra Maharaj in this way, in that way, in this way, in that way. This is Gaura Lila in Purushottam Ketra. So beautiful. So when Lord Jagannath stopped and the offerings were being made at the Balagandi, then Mahaprabhu, he went to retire and he lay down beneath a tree in the garden, and his associates also lay down here and there. Mahaprabhu and each one of his associates was so effulgent with Krishna Prem, it is as if the garden had been decorated with lamps. You know, if you go to a park sometimes, they put some lighting beneath the trees, and when they're turned on, it looks magical. So that garden, it had a magical appearance because each of the trees was illuminated by the effulgence of different associates of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And at that time, then Prataparudra Maharaj, very humble, without his kingly dress. On the Rath Yatra day, the king is decorated so beautifully, perhaps you have seen. Giving up all his jewels and ornaments in a simple white cloth, very humbly, on the indication, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, now's your chance, go. Taking permission from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, then he very quietly snook up there where Mahaprabhu was lying and sat down at his feet. Dinera adhik doy kari Bhagavan, kulina pandita dhani bada abhiman. Mahaprabhu said that Krishna is more merciful to those who are humble, those who are meek and gentle, those who feel themselves to be fully, completely unqualified, having no redeeming virtues. To such a person, Supreme Lord is excessively merciful. Kulina Pandita Dhani Bara Abhiman. But those who are born in the aristocratic family and they have the ego, identify with that. Those who think I am a great scholar, great pandit. Always remember, theoretical knowledge is no knowledge. Only realization is knowledge. But those who think their theoretical knowledge is something great have Pandit Abhiman. And those who are dhani, who are wealthy, and think something belongs to them. Then Bada Abhiman, they have pride, they have great false ego, and the mercy of the Lord does not go to them. But Prataparudra Maharaj was not like that. He was young, he was handsome, he was powerful, he was successful, he was a king. But he thought, I am the most unfortunate person in the whole universe. Mahaprabhu had seen him earlier that day sweeping in front of Lord Jagannath, and seeing this, Mahaprabhu's heart was already melting. The king setting the example for everyone. This is not my kingdom. It is the kingdom. Everything is the kingdom of Jagannath. And we are only das anudas, are servants of the servants of Krishna. So the king approached there and he began to massage the feet of Mahaprabhu and sing. Jayati Teodikam Janmana Braja Srayato Indra Shashwadatrahi Dayata Drishyata Dikshutavakat Tvayidritas Shavas Tvam Vichinvate. See, Krishna has disappeared from the Rasa Leela. Though all gopis, they are in competition with each other when Krishna is present. But now Krishna has disappeared. Then this rivalry has vanished. Just like there are so many lakes and ponds. Kushum Sarovar, Manasi Ganga, Brahmakund, Govinda Kund, Jamuna. There are so many bodies of water. But when there's a great monsoon and everywhere floods, then they're not separate anymore. Everything overflows and they become like one big body of water. So in the same way, all Braj Gopis, Hmm? Kaschit Puroksham Krishnasya Swasakibhyon Bhavanayan. Sukadev Goswami Pad said, in Venu Geet, gopis are in groups and talking only to their sakis privately. In Venu Geet. In Pranay Geet, also, all gopis are there surrounding Krishna, but they're in groups on all four sides of Krishna. And each one is speaking in such a way to pull his heartstrings in the direction of their group. But in Gopi Geet, Krishna has disappeared. That means prem has flooded everywhere, and all gopis have come together and singing together in one voice. So this is the speciality of Gopi Geet. They're saying, Jayati Teyadikam Janmana Braja. Oh Krishna, ever since you took birth in Braja, then Srayat Indra Shashwadatrahi, the goddess of fortune, is here in Braja and decorating everywhere. She's taken up a broom and she's sweeping. The goddess of fortune has taken up a broom and sweeping in Braj, decorating this place. What does it mean? It means if Lakshmi is in a person's life, then they're prosperous, they're fortunate. So how fortunate are all the Brajabasis to live in the place where Lakshmi Devi has taken the position of sweeping. And you know, when a person sweeps, they sprinkle water first so the dust doesn't get in the air. She's sweeping and keeping the dust down with her tears. This is Braja. How fortunate in Braja. Braja is such a place that everyone in Braja, from the cows and calves to monkeys and birds and butterflies and cuckoos and peacocks and all human beings, everyone in Braj, all their desires are fulfilled except for us. We gopis have only one desire, and even that one desire is not fulfilled. So, Kim Ut, what can we say about the extent of our misfortune? If you're broke and suffering and you live in a place where everyone's broke and suffering, then it's not surprising. But if in a place where everyone's desires are all fulfilled and everyone is blissful and there's the utmost prosperity and Lakshmi Devi is decorating that place, and still you have only one desire and even that one desire is not fulfilled, then what can we say about the misfortune? Gopis are expressing this. How unlucky we are that we cannot serve you, Krishna. You have left us. How can we live without seeing you? Show yourself to us. The inner meaning of the words is, oh Krishna, we are so young and beautiful, and we've all come here only to please you. And if you have gone and you don't come back, for the rest of your life you'll be crying, oh, I had a great opportunity and I blew it. This is the inner meaning of their words. They don't want to serve Krishna for their happiness. They're only thinking of Krishna's happiness. And if you miss this chance, then how will we live? Because the beauty of a young lady is like a flower. Flower in the vase is beautiful only for 2-3 days and then gone. So now we're at the peak of our beauty. And if you'll not meet with us now, then it will be gone forever. Your chance will be missed forever. And we cannot stay alive even thinking of this. It was as if they could hear by Bharvakarna, the ears of Bhav. Krishna was saying, all right, then, I guess you'll just all die then. You all have to die. Gopi said, yes, Tvai Drita Shavas. We would die, but there's one problem. Tvai Drita Shava. Our Ashava, Ashu, that means our pran is living in you. Our pran doesn't live with us. It lives with you. And because you're hiding somewhere, looking at our suffering and getting some pleasure from our pain, feeling that happiness, and our pran is living with you, we cannot die. Our pran stays in this world. Tvam Vichinvate, we have been searching for you everywhere. So Pratibrudha Maharaj was singing these songs, the deep expressions of the gopis' love for Krishna. And Mahaprabhu was lying and he'd been in such ecstasy dancing before Lord Jagannath. Now he was relishing these ecstasies. Don't think that Mahaprabhu is hearing someone quote a verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhusavasrai. Bhagavatam is Krishna. When a pure devotee hears a verse describing Krishna and gopis or their pastimes, he experiences that very pastime. It is the sound incarnation of that eternal moment of that lila. It is not a verse. So Mahaprabhu was actually experiencing that moment of Braj Gopis' separation from Sri Krishna. So the king continued to sing, Pisha Jala Pyayat, each verse one by one, gradually. Madhuraya Gira, Valguvakyaya, Buddhamanogyaya, Pushkarekshana, Vidikarir Ima, Viramuyati, Adarasiduna, Pyayayashvana. Krishna said, it's too late now. I know that you must give up your life. Gopi said, no, you should come here. Krishna said, even if I return now, but you still may leave. Gopi said, no, you can give us some medicine. What is that? Adara siddhuna apyaya yashnava. Make us drink the amrita, the medicine of your lotus lips. That is the only medicine that can revive us from this condition. Why? Madhuraya gira. Oh Krishna, when you speak, the sound of your voice is so sweet. Madhuraya gira. The sound is sweet. Falgu bhakyaya. And the words that you say are so enchanting, so clever, so charming that Buddha Manogyaya, even great demigods like Lord Brahma and others, they become bewildered hearing your words. You know, when Krishna is returning in the evening from taking the cows to graze, all the demigods assemble in the sky and they offer arti to Krishna and shower flowers. Gopis are thinking, just see, Krishna speaks in such a way that hypnotizes people. And why did all these demigods come to worship our Nandalal, the son of Nanda Maharaj? What's going on? What? Because they became bewildered. Buddha Manogyaya. They became enchanted by the way he speaks. But not only that, Pushkarekshana. And your eyes are like lotus flowers. So all these things come together. When Krishna speaks, his voice is sweet. What he says is bewildering and so clever. And as he's speaking, he's glancing and moving his eyebrows. And all this comes together and a person becomes mad. So Vidikari Hima Viryamuyati. O Vir, O hero, in separation from you, we are fainting. And if the lips from which come so much nectarine words, these words that come from your lips are so much full of nectar, how much nectar must be there in the source of those words? Directly in your lips. So come here at once and revive us, bring us back to life with that nectar. Braja Gopis are speaking in this beautiful way. What is this Madhuraya Gira? Palguvakyaya. When Radha and Krishna are together, then Krishna, he becomes stunned. Krishna feels like a poor person who suddenly received a priceless jewel and just now doesn't know what to do with it. He's received Radhika. What should I do? Krishna himself takes Radhika in his lap and decorates her hair and even takes a deep and offers arti to the face of Radhika with tears streaming from his eyes. Priyangste ham tamapi chamama prayasiti pravadas tam te prana ahamit apitavas miti hanta pralapaha tam te me shamaham iti tava charyat tachtano sadhu radhe vyavaharo no nahi samuchito yushmad asmat prayogaha. Krishna said to Radhika, if I say that you are my Priya, and I am your Priya. You are my beloved, and I am your beloved. Then this is just a conventional way of speaking. But if I say, you are my pran, and I am your pran, then this is just some prattle, some nonsense. And if I say, I am yours and you are mine, even this is not appropriate. Because in our case, even the pronouns I and you are not appropriate. What does it mean? Pranay. Pranay. Mano dadano vishwambham. Pranay. Pranaya prochite bodhe. The learned persons have said that pranay means that love which is imbued with complete confidence. My heart and your heart are one. My senses and your senses are one. My body and your body is one. We have become one. So Krishna experiencing, he's drowning in that love in meeting with Radhika. And even the pronouns I and you just seem to not be applicable in this case. You're my Priya, I am your Priya. You're my Pran, I am your Pran. I belong to you. But no, it's simply not applicable when Radha and Krishna are drowning in love for each other. This is a Madhuraya Gira Phalgu Vakya. Gopis are remembering how Krishna speaks is so sweet, so enchanting. Tuya anurago prema samudre dubyachi ami amare tuliya koru pahare yogi bogina pitani tomara lagiya dhani oja hoilam tomara karani. Krishna has said to Radhika, his bhav is, I cannot repay you. Oh Radhika, I am drowning in the ocean of your love. Save me, save me. What is my life? I go in Braj from house to house. I go from forest to forest, taking the cows here and there. Why? Only to get a chance to see you. Why does Krishna take the cows to graze every day? He tells his mother, I have to do my dharma. I am a Gwalbal. I'm a cowherd boy. I have to do my dharma. It's just an excuse to get out of the house and go to Govardhan and meet with Radhika and Radhakund. In my life, I'm wondering here and there, why? Just to get a chance to see you. I'm drowning in this ocean of love. Sometimes because of you, Yogi Bogi Napitani. Sometimes your mother-in-law keeps you locked in your house. So I cannot meet with you. At that time, I dress up as a yogi and go begging door to door. Alak Niranjan, Bhiksham Dei, Bhiksham Dei. Jutila Devi said, oh, I haven't taken bath yet, so I cannot offer the alms to the yogi. You go and take some rice and dal and fruits on a tray, and atta, some flour on a tray, and give it to the yogi. Then Radharani takes a veil and puts it over her head because she doesn't ever want to look at the face of another man, and comes outside with a big tray of for bhiksha, for that yogi. When she comes outside, she notices, oh, this yogi looks familiar. Krishna, he took his cloth and said, I am not begging for these things. Please give me the jewel of your man. Give up your sulky mood. So then Radhika, she took the tray of flour and other ingredients and turned it upside down on his head. And then she turned around, and just as she was going back in the door, she moved her veil a little and looked at him and smiled, and then shut the door and went inside. Krishna was standing there covered in flour and dal. Oh, today my life is a success. Hmm? So sometimes they become a yogi. Sometimes they become napitani. Napitani means the pedicure girl. The daughter of the village barber, his daughter, she does manicure and pedicure. So if Krishna cannot meet with Radharani, then he dresses up as the Napitani and he gets snook into Jyotila Haveli, mother-in-law's home, there just to have a chance to serve the lotus feet of Radhika with the pedicure. Tobara lagiya dhani. Sometimes they become a tax collector. Hey, where are you going? You cannot travel through this kingdom of Kamadev with all these valuable goods. You have to pay a tax. For your lips, which are as red as rubies, you have to give 10 million shining rubies. For your eyebrows, which are like the bows of Cupid. Because when you draw a bow, then the bow becomes bent, and then the arrow shoots. So when Radhika raises her eyebrows, then the arrow of Cupid shoots Krishna in the heart. For your eyebrows, who are like the bows of Cupid, you have to pay a tax of 10 million golden jewel-studded bows. Krishna's making very reasonable demands. Because he will come to the point that if you don't have such wealth to pay the tax, then that's all right. You can pay me in services. Goods or services. So Torah Lagia, that sometimes I become the tax collector. Or Radhika for you. Torah Lagi Korle Dokani. Sometimes for you, I open a shop. I become a shopkeeper. Where? Ambikovan. We just told this pastime in the Badger Festival a few weeks ago, whatever, 4 festivals ago. When all the Brijbasis went to Ambikovan, there was a huge festival like a Kumbh Mela. And all the people of the world went there to worship Pashupati, Mahadev and Ambika at the time of Shiv Chaturdasi. So wherever there's a big gathering of people, what happens? So many people also come there to do commerce, and a big market appears. So there was a marketplace with stalls selling clothes, selling jewelry, massage, art, and Ayurveda. So the gopis, when they were there at that festival, they were wandering around and looking at all the different shops. But the astonishing thing is, each shop they went into, then it was Krishna in disguise, pretending to be the owner of that shop, to trick them. Oh, I am a tailor. He dressed up as a female tailor. I can make made-to-measure clothes very quickly. Look at my choli. And Krishna's wearing a choli with some flowers inside. Look, if you like this choli, I can make one for you. Radhika and Asaki, yes, it's very nice. Yes, then please step into my changing room. And then they had a surprise. So in this way, Krishna's words are so sweet. Oh, Radhika, everything I do, I am doing for you because I'm drowning in the ocean of your love. So I take the cows to graze. I sometimes become a yogi, sometimes a dhani, tax collector, sometimes become a shopkeeper. Only for you. Please, bless me. Twai shame. Nitya pranayane midagde rasanido. Priye bhuyo bhuya. Suridamati rago bhavatu me. Iti prastain uktara manama me chitte tavavacho. Vedanti tis mera mamama nasiradha vilasatu. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur said, when Radha Krishna are together in the beautiful Kunj, Sri Krishna is confessing, I don't have such a love like you. So I'm simply praying that my heart will always remember you, how you are ocean of rasa, how you are so expert in all the arts. You are my eternal beloved. You are Shama. Shama means in the cool weather, your body is warm, and in the warm weather, your body is cool. So you are Shama. Oh, my dearest, I only pray that my love for you will increase and increase and increase because I cannot keep up with your love. You love me more and more every moment, and I cannot repay your love. And when Sri Krishna said these words, Madhurayad gira falgu vakya, enchanting words, then Radhika smiled. Vadanti tisbara mamanisrada vilasatu. Radhika smiled and said, "Oh my Pran Priyatam, the exact words that you spoke to me, those exact words were in my chitta at that time." So pranay is like this, because two hearts are one. So as Krishna is confessing that your love is so vast, I am drowning in that love, I cannot reciprocate with you, and your love is increasing every moment. Oh, may my love also somehow increase and increase. As Krishna was saying that, exact same thoughts were in the mind of Radhika. So as she heard his words, she smiled. Oh, means you took the words right out of my mouth. So Krishna thinks, I am not qualified to love such a person like you. And Radhika thinks, I am not qualified to love such a person like you. Both are drowning in each other's love. Madhuraya gira falgu vakya. Something is here. See, Krishna really cannot keep up with the love of Radhika. But Radhika is feeling that she cannot keep up with the love of Krishna. Why? Yo santam anapyanupadam mahimanam yadutsche. The meaning is that it's the nature of Radhika's love that whatever Krishna does, it is pleasing to her. Not because it's right or wrong. She does not measure. There are no terms and conditions. Aslishyava padaratam pinashtumam. You can break my heart or you can make me fortunate by your embrace. But mat pranana tastu saiva napara. Whatever you do, then you are my pran and there is no one else. So Radhika's love is completely unconditional. And if she sees if Krishna will give some pain to her, then the love is such that the pain that Krishna gives to her turns into amrita. And if Krishna experiences even just a slight atom of inconvenience, Radhika, she cannot tolerate it. See Radhika, if she sees the good qualities in Krishna, it doesn't increase her love. And if she sees a fault in Krishna, it doesn't decrease her love. Her love has its own life. And if Radhika looks towards Krishna and some quality is not there, but at every moment she enthusiastically imagines qualities which are not there even. This is the nature of love. The bad qualities become good qualities, and anything which is insufficient, in this case that Krishna cannot reciprocate with her, she sees that he can reciprocate and he's more than reciprocating with her. And therefore, Krishna feels indebted to Radhika and Radhika feels indebted to Krishna. Yet still, Radhika's love is greatest. So in this way, Radha and Krishna speak to each other in their private moments. But now, Krishna has disappeared. And Radhika is remembering, oh, Madhuraya gira falgu vakya buddhamanogya pushkarekshana vidikarima viramuyati adarsidunapya ayasvana. Krishna, the sound of your voice is so sweet. The words that you say are so charming. And they can bewilder even those of vast intelligence. What to speak of a simple cowherd girl like me. And especially when it's combined with your glances and movements of your eyebrows and the smile on your lotus face, then there can be no survivors. So please save us now with the nectar of your lips. So in this way, Prataparudra Maharaj was singing. Gopi Gita and Mahaprabhu was drowning in the bhavs of Srimati Radhika, which are expressed in the Dwani, in the implications of these beautiful verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then Prataparudra Maharaj said, Tava katam vritam tapta jivanam kavibiriditam kalmasapaham shravana mangalam shrimad atatam bhuvi grinantiye Buddhidajana. Gopis are saying, oh Krishna, tava katamritam. The words spoken by you or the words spoken about you. They're amrita. They're like nectar. Tapta jivanam, for those who are suffering. For example, sometimes gopis are suffering in separation and their sakhis come and tell them about Krishna and it gives tapta jivanam, it gives life to those who are burning in separation. Kavi bir iditam, all the great kavis glorified Krishna. Who? Like Shukadev Goswami. And all the great devatas, Adi Kavaye Bhuyanti Yat Surya, Lud Brahma also. All the great kavis, poets, they glorified Krishna. Kalma Sahapaham. And by hearing the glories of Krishna, all inauspiciousness in one's life is removed. The andhakar, the darkness of samsaric asakti, the darkness of attachment to this temporary material plane is removed by Harikatha. Kalma Sahapaham. Shavamana Mangalam. Hearing it brings auspiciousness. What is Mangal? What is Mangal? Yesterday. Mangal means that brings you to Rati. This is Mangal. Mangalarti means the arti that awakens Rati. Shubha Drishti Karo Prabhu Jagatera Prati Jagokari Doya Mora. So Mangalarati. This is Mangal for the living beings. The conclusion of Bhagavatam, that is only Mangal to attain Rati. Shavana Mangalam Shimadatam. And if one hears this katha, then Srimad, he becomes prosperous. His prosperity spreads everywhere. So Bhuvi Granantiye Buddhidajana, those persons who in this world are speaking Harikatha, then Buddhida. That means the person who donates, the charitable person. And Buddhi means in abundance. Those who distribute Krishna Katha, they are the most merciful, charitable persons. This is the outer meaning of the verse or the meaning of the Dakshinya Bhav, submissive mood. But in Bhamya Bhav, in a contrary mood, gopis are saying, Tava Kata Mritam. Kata, not Amrita, Mritam. Oh, Krishna. Your Kata is like Mritam, death. Poisonous. Tapta Jivanam. If anyone will hear anything about you, then they will suffer. In their life will be tapta. They will be burning in their life. Kavibir iditam. The poets have glorified you. Why? Because poets say anything. Just like the poets say that a swan can separate the mixture of milk and water, but you get some milk and water, mix it and bring a swan and see what happens. Actually, they cannot do it. This is a kavi praudokti. Kavi praudokti means the stock of metaphors that poets use to express some point. So kabibidi idita, these poets, they say so many things, they're just not true. Kalmashapaham. And your kata, it takes away all problems. Haha. Look at us. Now everything is trashed. Our whole life is ruined. In the middle of the night, we ran away. Our husbands tried to stop us. Our in-laws tried to stop us. But they could not check us and we ran into the forest. And now we are here. We left everything just for you. And now you left us. What are we left with? Nothing. Total disaster. So, kalmashapaham. Some of the meaning is only in the tone of voice. Shavana Mangalam. You know, it's very, very, some sarcasm here. Sutprash. Shavana Mangalam. Hearing about you is so auspicious. Srimad Atatam. Why? Well, just see. Atatam means everywhere. Everywhere. Atatam, pervading. How hearing about you is auspicious? The evidence for that is everywhere. Just look at us. Sri Mad Artatam. If someone hears about you, then they become the mud by your beauty. Sri Mad means they become maddened by your beauty. And being mad, they disrespect their Guruja and their families and Dharma and everything. And in this way, their lives are ruined. And where's the evidence? Adatam. Everywhere, look at all of us gopis. Here on the bank of Jamuna, everyone is crying. It's a complete disaster for everyone because of you. So Bhuvi Granantiye Buridajana, those persons in this world who travel here and there, taking the Srimad Bhagavatam under their arm and telling everyone, come on, Bhakti Festival. Come and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. It's free. I promise you. Free admission. It will not cost you anything. But what happens? It costs you a whole life. This one leaves the mother and father. This one leaves the husband. This one leaves the wife. This one leaves his job. And all become like beggars in Vrindavan. So, Buri Da Jana. Da means do dhatu. It can mean dadati, he gives, but do dhatu can mean cut. So, Buri Da, those who speak Harikatha, they are like hunters, cruel hunters. Because they disguise themselves as being very generous and charitable. Come on, it's for free. And then they speak in such a way, and all your future, all your dreams and plans and your career and education and everything, cut. Nothing left. So, Bhuvi Granantiye, Bhudi Dajana, be careful. Be very far away from those people who speak Harikatha. Unfortunately for you all, it's too late. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard these beautiful words of the gopis, this is called Vyajstuti. Vyajstuti means praising someone on the pretext of criticizing them. This is not a criticism of Krishna. This is not a criticism of Harikatha or Bhagavatam. This is not a criticism of Sadhusanga. This is the glory of Harikatha, the glory of Sadhusanga, because it can do what nothing else can do. Nothing else can entice the living entities to leave behind their attachments of this world and surrender and give their life to some ethereal thing that they've never seen before. But Harikatha is so powerful, and it does this. And then gradually the realization, actual darshan of Krishna comes. And then the person can realize that I did not give up everything to attain Krishna, but rather those who don't surrender to Krishna, they have given up everything because Krishna is everything. They are really renounced because they've given up the greatest thing for nothing. But the devotees, they've given up nothing to attain everything. Krishna Prem. So when Mahaprabhu heard these words of Prataparudra Maharaj, he opened his eyes and said, Burida, Burida, you are the most generous person, you are the most generous person. Burida, Burida. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, who are you? And the king, he could not say, I am the king. And anyway, Mahaprabhu, though he's mugdha, he's bewildered, but he also knows. He's also sarvagya. He knows everything simultaneously. So who are you? The king said, I am just the insignificant servant of your servants. And Gauranga Mahaprabhu embraced him. He said, Tumi more dili bahu amalya ratan ami kichu dite nahi karya lingan. He said, Tumi more dili bahu Amulya Ratan, you have given me so many valuable jewels. Because as he was singing each verse, many bhavs were manifesting, realizations in the heart of Mahaprabhu. So he said, you have given me Amulya Ratan, priceless jewels, but I am a sannyasi. My pockets are empty. I have nothing to give you in return. Mora kichu dite nahi, dilu alingan. So I can only give you the only thing I have, my embrace. And Gauranga Mahaprabhu embraced Prataparudra Maharaj. My Gurudev said, at that time that Mahaprabhu embraced Prataparudra Maharaj, then the ecstasies which were there in the verses of Gopi Geets, though he was singing them, he was not realizing them. But when Mahaprabhu embraced him, then all the nectar of those verses manifested in his heart. Not only the meaning of each verse, the meaning of each word, but each of the verses also cross-reference with each other in thousands of ways. And more meanings come out. And those meanings, they were manifesting one after the other in the heart of Prataparudra Maharaj, and he was weeping and weeping. So in this way, his life became a success. How does his life become a success? By Vaishnava Seva, by serving Kashi Mishra, his guru. He used to live in Cuttack, but when he was visiting Puri, he had a duty. Every day he would go to Kashi Mishra Bhavan to visit his guru after his guru has taken lunch. And his Kashi Mishra was resting, and the king would come and massage the legs of Kashi Mishra. And then he would ask his Gurudev, oh, how is the seva of Lord Jagannath going on? And he would give a report how all the services of Lord Jagannath are going, and he would try to make some arrangement to improve everything. So because he was serving his guru, Kashi Mishra, because he was serving Ramananda Rai, because he was serving Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the dear associates of Mahaprabhu. So, and because he was humble, he had no false ego. Therefore, Gauranga Mahaprabhu was trembling with anticipation to shower his mercy upon him. Just as a lion is trembling to tear an elephant apart, he was trembling in anticipation to sprinkle mercy on Prataparudra Maharaj. And though that Prataparudra Maharaj is the devotee of Lord Jagannath from Satya Yuga, and that Jagannath, he is the Dwarkadish Krishna. By the mercy of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, now Prataparudra Maharaj realized the prema of gopis of Vrindavan. So something more, something much more than he ever experienced before in previous pastimes was given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in this way, during this month of Purushottam, one aspect of our Purushottam Vrata is to hear, chant, and remember the pastimes of Gauranga Mahaprabhu in Purushottam Ketra, Jagannath Puri Dham, because this Leela is the bhajan Leela by which Gauranga Mahaprabhu is playing the role of our bhajan Shiksha Guru and showing us the path into the bhajan Rajya, into the realm of eternal loving service of our dear most beautiful Kishore Kishori, Sisi Radha Vinod Bihari. Bale Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai, Bale Saniwali ki jai, Jai Jai Sri Jai Gaur Sitanath Premanande.